Liverpool's summer rebuild shows no signs of slowing, with the club now on the verge of landing two major signings that could reshape Arne Slot's squad. Fresh agreements have accelerated negotiations, and the Reds appear closer than ever to sealing a double swoop that addresses one of the few lingering gaps in their title-winning team. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Liverpool news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. But first, Liverpool have made a decision over the future of young utility player Lucas Stevenson, who was left out of the squad for Sunday's Community Shield. Stevenson did not travel to Wembley for the clash with Crystal Palace at the weekend, despite offering cover at both right-back and centre-back during pre-season. Instead, the 21-year-old is nearing a move away from Anfield this summer, though it will not be on a permanent basis as initially expected. Per The Athletic's James Pearce, Stevenson will instead rejoin Dundee United on a season-long loan, after being named their Young Player of the Season for 2024/25. Before heading back to Tannadice, he is set to sign a new long-term contract, having entered the final year of his current deal last month. That will extend Stevenson's association with Liverpool and delay any final decision over a role in Arne Slot's senior squad going forward. Slot is a keen admirer of his versatility and work ethic, but it is clear that playing week in, week out would be more valuable than spending the campaign around the first team and featuring sparingly. Whether Stevenson then makes the step up could depend on the progress he makes in another season in the Scottish Premiership. There was no shortage of interest in the youngster signed from Sunderland in 2018, with Swansea, Cardiff, Reading and Rotherham also exploring a loan, and Aberdeen reported to be considering a permanent bid. Stevenson settled well at Dundee United last term, however, and Liverpool know he will be almost guaranteed a key role under Jim Goodwin this time out. The youngster, whose previous loan experience came with Barrow in League Two, made 34 appearances for Goodwin's side last season, scoring 3 goals and assisting 2 more while playing 6 different positions. Speaking to DUTV in April, Stevenson reflected on talks over his future and said, "The year I've had here, if I can replicate that again, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want to play my football back up here." Turning 22 in September, he would have been eligible as a homegrown player for Liverpool in the Premier League this season, and could have been a useful asset, particularly following Tyler Morton's £15 million move to Lyon. He is not likely to be the only player to leave on loan in the coming weeks, with the likes of James McConnell, Jayden Danns and KD Gordon also expected to move on. Now, in a huge double deal, Liverpool are edging closer to securing Mark Guéhi in a decisive move to reinforce their defence this summer, with highly rated teenage centre-back Giovanni Leone also firmly on the radar. Arne Slot's squad overhaul has been nothing short of sweeping. A new striker, an attacking midfielder, 2 fullbacks, and 3 goalkeepers have already arrived. Yet, for all the activity, the centre-back position has remained glaringly under strength. The sale of Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen stripped away one of the few options behind the first-choice pairing of Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. Beyond them, the injury-hit Joe Gomez and the rarely seen Reece Williams are the only senior cover available. Slot has publicly played down concerns, while Van Dijk has pushed for forward-thinking additions. Behind the scenes, however, Liverpool's recruitment team have clearly recognised that this is a gap too risky to ignore. Talks for Guéhi have intensified in recent weeks, especially after Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish admitted that their defensive talisman would have to be sold this summer if he refused to extend his contract. The Times report that Liverpool and Palace are in advanced negotiations over a deal worth an initial £30 million, with a further £5 million in add-ons, notably less than the £40 million valuation floated earlier this summer. In truth, if Guéhi had more than a year left on his deal, his value as an England international in his prime would likely have doubled. Palace have already turned down serious money for him, rejecting a £65 million bid from Newcastle last summer and a £70 million January offer from Spurs. According to Fabrizio Romano, Guéhi has agreed personal terms with Liverpool, leaving only the final agreement between the clubs to be settled. At the same time, Liverpool are making progress on another ambitious defensive target. Parma's towering 19-year-old Giovanni Leone is attracting similar financial discussion, with figures between £30 million and £35 million being reported. Romano says talks are at an advanced stage, while the Times go further, claiming Slot's side believe Leone is the best of the young centre-backs in Europe. Leone's resume is still in its infancy, just 17 Serie A appearances, all of them last season, as Parma fought their way clear of relegation. To put that in perspective, a dozen Liverpool players logged more top-flight minutes in a single campaign than Leone has managed across his entire career. If Liverpool can push both transfers over the line, Slot will have transformed one of his squad's weakest areas into a position of real strength. Gue's proven Premier League pedigree, combined with Leone's towering potential, would not only add depth, but also inject fresh energy into the heart of the defence. For a side aiming to defend their title and compete on all fronts, it could be the decisive summer business that ensures they remain at the summit. In other news, Federico Chiesa could be set to stay as part of the Liverpool squad this season, according to reports in Italy, following the sale of Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz. Chiesa was not a prominent fixture throughout pre-season, but did still score once in his 3 appearances, interrupted by an injury that saw him miss the Tour of Asia. The expectation was that the winger's absence from the trips to Hong Kong and Japan would pave the way for a swift exit. But as it stands, Chiesa is one of 6 forwards in Arne Slot's senior squad, ahead of the Premier League opener against Bournemouth, and, according to new reports in Italy, could be set to stay. Gazzetta dello Sport claimed that Liverpool officials held a meeting with his agent Fali Ramadani and communicated that he would be needed for the start of the new season. Arne Slot is said to have had a similar conversation with Chiesa himself, with it clear that the departures of Núñez to Al Hilal and Diaz to Bayern Munich have left him short of senior attackers. While there are plans to involve Rio Ngumoha as a full-time member of the first team, there will be an awareness that relying too heavily on a 16-year-old would be a gamble. Similarly, with Ben Doak expected to leave amid widespread interest from clubs in the Premier League and beyond, there is no specialist cover for Mohamed Salah on the right. Slot most recently mentioned Chiesa as an option for the centre-forward role following the loss to Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. It could be that the 27-year-old is simply being retained until Liverpool gain clarity in their pursuit of Alexander Isak, with there yet to be a breakthrough over a player who is looking to force his way out of Newcastle. But with Núñez and Diaz both moving on, and Slot also losing Diogo Jota in tragic circumstances, it is not unfeasible that Chiesa could be kept as cover. Speaking in June, the Italy international admitted that he wouldn't mind staying at Anfield, though national team head coach Gennaro Gattuso has since made it clear he must play regularly in order to earn a call-up ahead of the World Cup. A number of clubs in Serie A have been credited with an interest in Chiesa, including Napoli and Atalanta. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. We post all the latest Liverpool news every day, so join our fast-growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.